Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Lotto Friday, June the 17th. Um, Not only is today Lotto Friday, but it is also Quad Witching Day. So if you don't know what quad witching is, it's when stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, and single stock futures all expire at the same time today, so I'm expecting a lot of volatility. Today is not the day you want to swing for the fence. You want to get in, get some profit, and get out. Take it when you have it, because if you don't, you may lose it and not get it back. I mean, you, excuse me, I gotta get a drink. You can, if you have multiple contracts, please scale. And when you scale, move your stop loss to entry or right above entry. That way you don't lose any money. Looking at SPY, QQQ, and Tesla, they are all opening inside of yesterday's range. So before entering any of those, I am going to wait for either a break above the high or a break above the low, because to me, opening inside of the range like that's just going to lead to choppy price action. But to the upside, almost all tickers have a nice gap. We'll just have to get over these 200 MAs in the middle of the gap or before the gap. So QQQs is right at the beginning of the gap. SPY is about a third of the way in the gap. And Tesla is before we even hit the gap. So going to be watching SPX as well. Big gap to the upside. About a 37.11 to 37.89. Excuse me, about an $80 move there. So roughly. So that could be a nice move if we get a gap fill. Gonna go ahead and go over the disclaimer. Sorry, losing my voice. Disclaimer: the views expressed here are my own personal opinion and should be taken as such. Trading is risky. You should always have a plan and plan your trade. Nothing you see here is financial advice. Nothing I say, nothing you see, and nothing is indicative of me telling you to buy or sell any type of security. You do so at your own risk. Plays will be called out that I am taking here and traded live on this YouTube stream, as well as in the Discord. If you haven't joined, please do so. The link is in the description to this video. It is free for now. If you haven't subscribed, also please do that. I would greatly appreciate it. The market opens in about a minute and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and mute the mic, and we're going to wait for the market to open here. Good luck, everybody. Market opens in about 30 seconds, guys. And we are open. I will not be taking an orb on any of these plays just because we are opening inside of yesterday's range. I would like a trend to develop and show itself before deciding to take a position. I believe with it being quad witching day, they're either going to run it down and pop it back up or pop it up and run it back down. We're going to see some violent moves here after the price stabilizes after about 15-20 minutes here. Apple in the middle of yesterday's range. Spy in the middle of yesterday's range. QQQ also in the middle. Tesla in the middle. And SPX in the middle. So not going to force anything today. Going to let the trade come to us. And then we are going to attack, take somebody's lunch money, and move on to the next. See if we got anything moving pretty nicely this morning. Baba is up way big this morning. So is JD. Big Chinese pop there. Chewy, nice pop. Pretty much gap filled. GLD showing a big head and shoulders here. Under 172 I might be interested. GLD is probably going to come down. I lost interest on it because we got the 200 MA here, which is going to act as support. Plus, there's not a whole lot of liquidity with these contracts. Not really my style. mRNA there, big pop. About a $4 pop on that candle. 120 to 124. Above the 200 MA, but overextended from the 5. Let's see what we're looking at here. QQQ trying to make a move up here above the 200 MA. Then we also have the 5 EMA crossing over the 13 MA here. I would like to see a continue and break above yesterday's high before I would be interested. Tesla, not really doing a whole lot. SPX, big gorilla candle there. So looking at the market net flow over here, we had both calls and puts going up, then puts crossed above the calls, back below the calls, and calls are currently on top leading the way. SPY's price is overall flat, so let's see what happens here. It's going to be patient today. So if we go ahead and we draw our 5-minute orbs, there's Tesla's orb. We're currently inside the orb. QQQ inside. Yeah, can you not hear me? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, good. Just want to make sure before we continue. So, as we can see, everything is kind of just chilling in the orb right this second. So with this choppy price action and 0-day to expiration options, there is no reason to go in and take a position until we define and form some type of trend. Data will just eat away at your contracts on these. So just going to be patient here. The only other one we looked at that was interesting was mRNA. We had this nice pop here. What are these contracts volume and open interest looking like? The spreads are absolutely horrible. So looking at the 124 calls, the ask price is $2.39 and the bid is $1.37. It is like $1 difference in the spread. No thank you. You might be able to get into that, but getting out of it, I mean, your fills are just going to be horrible. Unless I'm just lagging that bad, but I mean, everything else is updating. I mean, I'm not seeing anything with the spread less than 20 cents on mRNA. But if I was going to take the trade, we had, let me get my arrow here. We had a very nice pop up this morning, and we were above the 200 MA, your white line here. But this first 5-minute candle was overextended from the 5 EMA, which is your blue line. Then we had a nice pullback directly to the blue line, your 5 EMA. That would have been a good entry point if you were going to take that trade. And then you could have got back in. So if you would have bought right when we hit the 5 EMA and then pushed up, that would have been a good entry with a good risk to reward ratio on that. And as you can see, we pulled automatically to the 10% extension, and then we pulled back some. So like I said, I would have called this one out if the spreads weren't so bad. I mean, contracts are up about 100%, but just the fills are going to be absolutely horrible. And I personally don't want to risk that, and I don't want you guys risking that. So, SPY getting a little pop here. We are out of the orb. Really keeping an eye on SPX here, because SPX, we've got a big gap. And looking at the market net flow, we can see that puts are coming down and are below zero, and our calls are currently up at about 2.25 million of positive net premiums. Puts roughly about, well, that was a drastic change. Puts just went through the roof, and calls look flat. So puts hopped up to about 12 million right there. So let's see how this plays out. Like I said, today is going to be a day of super volatility moves. Once a trend gets developed, don't be surprised if, we uptrend for a minute or two, and then you just see a big red Hulk candle destroying the trend, and then it completely reverse again. That's typically what happens on days like today. So QQQ is getting close to our entry trigger here, but there is some selling pressure near pre-market highs around 275. No follow through on anything yet. Tesla, nice pop here above the 200 MA. So depending on how this candle closes, I may look to do a Tesla scalp here. We'll see how bad we wick back down once this 5-minute candle closes, or if it follows through. But before I would do that, I would want to see a pullback to the 5 EMA, because we're super overextended. But we are above the 200 MA there. I mean, for me personally, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but there's really no reason to trade a bunch of different tickers and trying to learn how they function and how they move. I typically stick to SPY, QQQ, SPX, and Tesla. Those four alone have a lot of liquidity. They have a lot of nice moves. You don't have to worry about fills. You don't have to worry about slippage with spreads. On SPY or QQQ, if you want to buy 100 contracts, you can buy 100 contracts. If you want to sell 100, you can sell 100. With a lot of these other names, you can't. So, that is why I typically just trade these, and that's why a lot of other options traders just trade these as well. So that candle did close good, and we are moving higher on Tesla here. But like I said, to be interested in this, I would want to see a pullback to the 5 EMA area, just because of how far overextended we are. And then I would be interested in some calls, even though we are inside this range. But let's see how we play out here. I'm going to check the net flow of Tesla. Calls are through the roof. Looking at the net flow from the bot and the Discord, puts are rather flat and in a negative. Calls being above, right around probably 5 million. Looks to be about 4.5 million. Positive net premiums. I forgot I have my sound off, so I can't even hear my alerts go off. So let me turn that back on. QQQ getting close here. May double top. I would want a pullback on Tesla from the current price to the 5 EMA to load some calls, get a better risk to reward that way. We don't want to enter once we're overextended and we're already in the pump here, just because your risk to reward's not going to be that good. And the price is always going to pull back to that 5 EMA or 8 EMA or 9 EMA or whichever one you decide to use. Just going to remain patient, guys. Like I said, today is not the day that I want to put my money or any of your money at risk. I want to have a nice setup here, a good reason to enter. So for Tesla, it would be that the net flow is very bullish, that we have a nice uptrend, and my third reason would be that we're looking for a 5 EMA retrace and bounce. If we get one, that is. You guys see this? So my fib is drawn from the low of the day right at 9:30 to this high right here. Then if we look at the next high, it's the perfect 50% extension. So that's algo trading for you. Okay, here comes a pullback on Tesla, possibly. Looking for a pullback here near the 5 EMA. So we're looking for a pullback right here. I mean, I'm not going to do it with my money, but I mean, you guys could have possibly taken a position with your money. Just know that the price is going to pull back soon. So that's one thing you always need to remember. And that was a very nice move there. So SPX, I may try a Lotto here. It looks like we're building a flag, or it could be a triple top, depending on the perspective. But I'm really looking to get over 37.11 here for a possible gap back up situation. That's my big watch. Still no pullback on Tesla. QQQ getting close here. We would, if we do break over 276.10, I want to see how this candle closes before making an entry. So looking at net flow, the momentum has slowed down. It looks like it's going to flip positive here. And calls have been coming up when puts have been going down. So we may get a market cross here where calls cross over the puts. Everything looks like it's kind of topping out here right this second. We need some follow through. Okay, here goes Tesla. We might get a pullback here. QQQ at yesterday's high, acting as resistance. Tesla, we got a micro pullback, but that's not close enough for me. SPX, I'm going to go ahead and go with a Lotto here. SPX 3775 calls expiring today at right around 250 is what I got them at.
We just got a bullish momentum cross in market net flow.
So I would love to see SPX start this gap up here. So I'm going to give, like I said, give this position a little time to breathe. Still waiting on that pullback on Tesla here. Here comes the pullback. Trying to get a fill on Tesla 675 calls at 250. No fill yet. I don't think I'm going to get it. So 250 would be right around or right below that 5 EMA. Price is currently at about 270. I'm going to leave that order open, see if we get filled. But see, perfect pullback there to the 5 EMA almost, and then we're starting to bounce a little bit. But we might get filled here if we move down a little bit lower.
We just got a bearish momentum cross in market net flow.
filled. Looks like the market wants to move lower here, though. Those SPXs are down huge right now, but I'm not sweating it. Gonna own my plays. I think we can see a bigger move to the upside here. We've got a lot of room to the upside. So Tesla trying to hold this 5 EMA here. And we're still right in the middle of yesterday's range, pretty much on everything. So a SPY trying to defend the 200 MA. Holding tight here. So SPX price being pushed back up some here.
We just got a bullish momentum cross in market net flow.
Puts are falling off on market net flow. They are dropping down. Looks like we might have the call line cross over the put line here.
We just got a bullish cross in market net flow. We just got a bullish momentum cross in market net flow.
So puts just cross under calls here on market net flow, but calls are overall flat. So looking at Tesla here, currently have a flag. Let's see how that plays out.
We just got a bullish cross in market net flow.
Just choppy price action overhaul. We had that nice little move so far. Now we're just chopping. They're eating premiums right now. Theta's eating.
We just got a bearish cross in market net flow.
What is pulling SPX down? Apple, Microsoft, everything had a nice move up, then a pull down. Still very early in the day though. But looking over here, I mean, right now, both calls and puts are basically flat. Momentum is, we are green, but it's looking like it's going to flip red into the negative. So we will see what happens here, because right now it's just chop central. The market is undecided. Apple pulling everything down. What is the VIX doing? They did have a nice sell-off on the VIX earlier today. Then we bounced here at this pivot point. The SPX play is strictly a lotto here. Instead of just eating these Tesla contracts, the price really isn't moving, but yet the contract is losing value. Tesla. Looking like we might get a little bounce here off that inside bar breakout. Would like to see a nice $20 move. Contracts go in the money. They run probably roughly about 400%. Like I said, the flow has got to take a direction here, and we're just going to chop. But with it being quad witching, we should see something soon, I would think. Unless they just really want to burn both sides today and burn all the contracts.
We just got a bullish cross in market net flow.
Check the bots here. We need the 3 mega caps here to give us something. Being Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. This type of movement that'll put you to sleep. I may average down here on these SPX contracts. But I'm just going to hold off on that. Because SPX is going right back into the orb. Tesla can't make up its damn mind. Apple is basically in its orb again. Microsoft's inside its orb.
We just got a bearish cross in market net flow.
Is anybody else's
We just
broker
got a
lagging
bearish
really
cross in
bad?
market net flow.
Tesla's selling off here, but yet my contracts aren't moving at all. Not really complaining because I'm not losing any more money, but something's not right.
We just got a bearish cross in market net flow.
What the hell is going on?
We just got a bearish cross in market net flow.
It's like I can't even trade. I'm gonna have to reboot my computer, guys. My contracts looking at Webull and then looking here at E-Trade are not updating. Yes, I'm down huge, but there's like a 5-minute lag in between them. So I'm not sure what's going on.